Good afternoon. I'm Earl Butch Graves Jr., CEO of Black Enterprise. It's my great privilege to welcome so many of our outstanding women entrepreneurs, business owners, job creators, economic drivers, and community transformers to BE's Sisters Inc. Virtual Summit. This is our second annual Sisters Inc. event, but as most of you know, Black Enterprise, the #1 Black digital media brand with more than 12 million unique visitors per month, has been a stalwart champion and supporter of Black women's business ownership from our inception. In a nation that has never been overly generous with opportunities for people of color, Black women have consistently created their own opportunities, transforming economic necessity into personal independence, community empowerment, and social progress. You are all a part of that story, actively writing its next chapter. A year ago, the conversation was mainly about the challenges of the pandemic for small and women business owners. The dominant concern was survival. As we head into 2023 and a post-pandemic economy, the conversation has shifted to a more positive space. Yes, inflation and the prospect of a prolonged recession remain critical obstacles, but all indicators are at last pointing in the right direction toward recovery. The percentage of small and minority-owned businesses shuttered during the pandemic is shrinking. More of you are open for business, moving the economy, hiring workers, and serving your community. We will talk about that growth and the bold moves women entrepreneurs are making across the country. And we're going to talk about how each of you can prepare, starting right now, to meet and surmount whatever challenges lay ahead. We mean to prepare you to make bold, successful moves of your own. To get you there, we've created an exciting, informative program that celebrates Black women's resilience and spirit of collaboration. I want to thank our event partners, MasterCard, Nationwide, and Walmart, and our outstanding lineup of speakers and special guests. Most of all, thank you for participating in Sisters Inc. and for being dynamic and passionate entrepreneurs. Your drive and commitment will restore our community and provide the next generation with the confidence to aspire. Thank you. So let's kick things off with our exclusive Conversations That Count, Sister Friends in Life and Business. Here to host the discussion is BE Vice President and Deputy Chief Content Officer and the head of our Sisters Inc. franchise, Alisa Gumbs.
Hi, everyone. I'm Alisa Gumbs, the Vice President and Deputy Chief Content Officer at Black Enterprise. Welcome to the opening conversation of our Sisters Inc. Summit, Sister Friends in Life and Business. If you have ever tuned in to Jill Scott Presents J.Ill the podcast, then you already know and love our guests. They are 3 powerhouse women in their own right, coming together because it's better that way. They've been friends for decades. Now they're navigating being in business together, and they're here today to dish on how they make it all work. When I say this is a killer lineup, I mean it. Please welcome singer-songwriter and podcast host Aja Graydon-Dantzler, on-air personality, podcast host, and producer Laiya St. Clair, and 3-time Grammy Award-winning singer-songwriter, New York Times bestselling poet, and critically acclaimed actor, Jill Scott. Ladies, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Jill, we all know that you're multi-talented, a singer, songwriter, actress, and poet, but not everyone knows that you're also an entrepreneur. Tell us about your journey as a businesswoman.
Oh, well, it has definitely, my business journey has definitely had its ups and downs. One, because I moved by instinct and by spirit. I created a bra line, and I was with Ashley Stewart at the time, and we were very, very excited about this bra, and it exploded. People loved the bra. It was the first trial of it, like really, and it was great. However, the company went bankrupt, and luckily I still have the patent. So that's one area. Oh boy, there's been so many things. There's been Hallmark
I was about
cards.
to say cards. I was about to do your rundown for you.
Yeah, yo, I'd
I'm
like.
going to help you out, boo.
Yeah. Let me help you out. Them Hallmark cards was everything.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
That was one day I woke up, and I think I was probably like maybe 19 or 20 or something like that. And Maya Angelou had Hallmark cards. And I was like, I want to have Hallmark cards. This is a woman that's born on April 4th, my birthday too. We're 40 years apart. I'm thinking legacy. So I contacted Hallmark, and it took a long time. It took about 5 years before they really responded in a movement. Because nothing, I need you to understand that nothing is ever just quick, fast, in a hurry. Nothing. Everything takes time, So this was one of those things. And finally, Hallmark said yes. And it was a wonderful experience. I did not understand how much work writing Hallmark cards really are. I didn't quite understand it. And it is a full-time job, really and truly. I loved having those cards. They spoke a lot of my interest and my humor. I put my own songs in it as well. And that was a great experience. But I found out that I do not write cards. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's trial and error. It's moving on what you see to be a need or something that rings in your spirit. That's my business journey. That is all I do. Ta-da!
Many times when I speak with Black women, they became entrepreneurs out of necessity. They needed to create a lane for themselves because they weren't getting the opportunity elsewhere. What was the allure of entrepreneurship for you?
Doing what I want to do, when I want to do it, how I want to do it. That's really what it's all about for me. To be able to offer something from my little spirit to people and have it be something that matters to them and their household, and something that's beneficial for their backs, something that's beneficial for the things that matter to them, like, a birthday or even a sympathy card, those kind of things. Like, that's really the purpose. And if they make money, and that obviously is what we want. We want the things that we do to make money. But I come from a woman who does multiple things and always has. So she tries things, and if they don't suit her, like selling pants to the whole neighborhood, or making wooden address signs with people's dreams on them, which are still up in North Philly. What up? Or making smoothies, or starting a daycare center. Or I just watched this woman, my mother, move in a direction of her spirit, and everything made money. Everything made money. Every bit of it adds up together. So for me, being a businesswoman, I enjoy what enjoys me.
Aja and Laiya, I know you all have very different life circumstances. It's part of what makes your conversations so dynamic. Did you also have different motivations for wanting to be your own boss?
I'll just say yes. closer to what you said earlier, Alisa, more on the sense of urgency. We were just talking about this on a recent J.L episode. My reason for moving into entrepreneurship was mainly because my industry was closing in on itself and becoming another thing. Black radio was becoming into podcasting, radio period, So the days of local radio celebrities and things like that were disappearing. So
felt like the right thing to do.
It felt like the right thing to do, because people think that a job is it's interesting when people work for corporate for so long and they think that that's more dependable than maybe working on your own. However, in the media world, I mean, it's a certain company that does layoffs at the beginning of the year, every year. So some of people live in the world of being in fear at least once a year. And at least, when entrepreneurship, you feel like there's a little bit more of your own control on the situation. It's all on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to be the person to kind of repeat it again, but it's a necessity issue, really. I don't even think that I even consider myself an entrepreneur, in that I just was moving throughout an industry that required me to change and move and mold myself according to what was required at the time. And so, I'm in a singing group with my husband. And so we did that for a number of years with record companies. And then eventually we became independent artists. And we've also had our own retail store. And we've also had our own media company. And we've also had several web series. And we've also done a ton of different things within, that spectrum. But I think it always turns out, well, what do we need as artists? It always kind of starts with what are our particular needs in this business. And then we just expand into those needs for ourselves and then eventually for other people. But really, it's mostly just to meet our personal needs. It's like, who else is going to know what you need better than you? And, and it offers a bit of a model for people, I think, and they begin to kind of center their needs. And then the broader community gets to see that there's more than one way to do a thing, and that it makes them feel that their particular needs are important, and that it's okay to answer the question for themselves rather than, or like my girlfriend says, rather than wait for some company to say, oh, here you go. Mm-hmm. Bam. Which they're not going to do anyway.
Yeah. Jill, you mentioned the line with Ashley Stewart with Hallmark. And of course, we share a mutual friend in Nationwide, who was the founding sponsor of our Sisters Inc. podcast and is supporting this event today. With all the business opportunities that are available to you because of your platform, how do you decide what you want to pursue?
I know, there are a lot of companies that can help you decide what it is that would best work for you in business. You can hire those companies. I literally wait to be motivated by my spirit. I literally wait for that. There's nothing else. I don't have a trick. I do as I do because I do. I allow my little light of mine, I allow it to speak. And sometimes that leads me to, I've never really failed. So I won't call it that. I'll say that not the level of success that maybe somebody else has in their mind, but for moi, I had an opportunity to do something I'd never done. I had an opportunity to share ideas with people that enjoy me. So I, definitely appreciate that. And I had a chance to learn some things as I go. And so it is really key, in my opinion. A lot of times people don't take jobs or take internships or fellowships because, the internet says they know everything. Sometimes you have to put your hands in deep. Sometimes you have to really toil the soil and figure out how to actually do the thing.
And Aja, we're coming for your gems right now. You are an accomplished singer-songwriter. As you mentioned, you're one half of the R&B duo Kindred, the Family Soul, along with your husband, and a veteran in the music business. Can you share some of the lessons that you've learned over that time, especially when it comes to managing your business as a creative?
Cool. Some of the lessons around managing my business as a creative.
In your time.
Right in there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the first lesson that I learned early on was that I had to be comfortable with exactly who I was in whatever room I was in. And for me, that was, I had small children. I've always had small children. From the moment that I started in this business, really as the group, I always had a baby, or I was pregnant, or I had multiple babies. And there's a time where that used to be taboo to bring children into certain spaces, and people had to adjust themselves. But what I learned early on is that if I was going to conduct business and be a mother, and that I had to conduct business in a way that worked for my life, and that other people had to be comfortable with that. So if you don't like babies, you can't do business with me, because babies are always around. And so, so that was a thing. So I learned that early, that don't allow what you think is a professional environment or this environment to dictate how it is you want to be and who you want to be in the room. You have to be comfortable with that person fully and allow other people to see you comfortable, and they will accept it if they want to do business and if what you do is worth enough to them. So,
Wow.
that's probably the first thing.
Ain't no play.
Wow.
The second thing I think has been super important for me is, I don't know, being super happy in the lane where you are, but not complacent. You know what I'm saying? Just being really enjoying the space that you take up. I think if you don't enjoy the space where you are, you won't ascend to another one. I think you have to own and fill that space up to the point where you don't fit anymore. If you're always concerned about what's going on or what opportunity you didn't get or what somebody didn't do or what you you won't be full in the space where you are. You won't have that sense of gratitude. You won't have that sense of fulfillment. And so I think that in business in particular, it's very easy to think about what the future and where you want to ascend, that you don't see how powerful the place where you are is.
That is 5 gems. You ready?
And the last one I'm going to say is one I'm learning right now. I'm in this class right now. Like I signed up for the class. It's the beginning of class. I just got the syllabus. So I don't want to say this as if I know it. This is something I'm doing right now. What I'm learning about is honoring the self. And I think that that's really important in business in particular, because we're taught that the self and that honoring of the self is this thing you do outside of work. It's that doesn't go with business. Business is this hard place, right? This is this place where you have to put on
Amen.
And I think that I'm learning in this place that what
I know
it
that laugh.
Yeah.
I know that laugh is, I'm just so proud. That's my friend. I know what I'm saying.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I am not trying to cut off your wisdom, agent. No, but it's striking me so hard that this is exactly why J.L is what it is. This is what it is. Is Black women being authentically ourselves.
Yeah.
It's just genuine.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too far away from what Aja was saying about honoring yourself.
Thank you.
Because I think that's an important lesson. And if you have something that you want to finish out about that, Aja,
I feel like it speaks for itself. It really kind of ties into what Jill was saying, is that you're honoring the self, because at the end of the day, that's all you got. At the end of the day, that's the only thing that no one can ever take from you. That's the thing you can carry with you through everything. It's the thing that goes from business to business, from room to room, from year to year, you know? So the honoring of the self and the growing as a person is essential to any ascension in your life. So like, it's worth it. It's the best investment that you could ever make.
Yeah, I love you, Aja.
Yeah. It should also be the first investment that you probably make.
It is, and it's sad that, and I want to say it's sad, but it's always a little bit of hindsight 2020 when you think about getting to a certain age and you have to learn this, so you know, further down the line. And I don't know if you can save people from that. So I don't know if they're,
or if you're supposed to.
Yeah, you know, but if you're young and you're watching this, I mean, by all means, don't wait till you're 44 to get, girl, sign up, get in class, honey, open your books, do what you have to do. Okay.
So,
Start from
Jill
the
and
mud.
Laiya, I'm going to ask you to weigh in here with a lesson. And instead of asking for a lesson learned, I'm going to ask for a lesson that you had to unlearn, because I think that is sometimes even bigger for us as women.
Laiya St. Clair.
Come on with the heavy J.Ill questions. I'm like,
Hold up, I'm gonna get in trouble, but I'm about to lean in.
Man. Unlearn. Oh, Alisa, are you speaking in like the professional sense?
In any sense you want to share. This is going out to women entrepreneurs, the things we had to unlearn. And I will start you off. I had to unlearn that hard work doesn't speak for itself.
Oh,
Like
no.
You have to speak.
You gotta let people know you're working hard, because sometimes they're not paying attention. Right. I got that. Okay. So
particularly if you are a Black woman, I said it.
Yes.
So I might say that I had to unlearn that people don't want to hear from you. As a radio girl, for the last enough years to say, we are taught to say things in 30 seconds, a minute. You know, people care about your opinions is limited. And if you can limit that into a minute, that's great. There is some real literal and figurative metaphor going on with that in my life now, where I'm on 3 podcasts. This is the time where people want to hear from what Black women have to say. And so I'm constantly doing work within the J.Ill podcast on that. Like my sisters are constantly, I'm a fast talker. Let me hurry up and get it out, because I don't know how long I'm gonna keep your attention. I don't think I can keep your attention for longer than a certain point. And I'm learning that maybe I can. I'm learning that I can take my time and speak and get my thoughts out. And I'm also incorporating some of the things that I've learned as an interviewer, and just listening, constantly telling myself to listen and not wait for the next answer. I know this is something that we say ourselves at least once or twice, but don't act like it ain't work. It is a working process to listen and then think. So those have been like my pretty biggest the unlearning of people don't want to hear from you.
Yes.
It's exciting. It's exciting and it's nerve-wracking, because for somebody who
can I say I enjoy these women? I enjoy them. I enjoy them. They say a lot of nice things.
Y'all do. I love you. Okay, we in front of company.
Some loving things, some funny things, some raunchy things, some so honest you wish somebody would just zip it back up. We have gone there and we'll continue to, because that's what this life is really all about. Everything is not pretty all the time. Not everything, but everything really is too. So what I've unlearned is that you do not have to work how everybody else is working. I learned that because when I first came out with my first album, I was on the road for about 2 years, which was an incredible experience on every level. And I also worked with the Roots before that. So I gone on tour with the Roots, and I learned how I did not want to tour. They were men they would hop off the bus, pop in for a quick shower and go right to the stage. If that, hop on the bus, go to the next place day after day. Like, I was like, when do we get a break though? I need better rooms. I need all kinds of things. I unlearned because I had that experience of doing things or touring how I didn't want to. But that was what was being drilled into me at the time, is this is how you tour. It's got to be grimy. It's got to be, no diss to the Roots, because they opened the door wide for me. And I just had an opportunity to learn. And I'm grateful for that. They don't tour the same way anymore. Nobody does. I hope.
Them rooms nice. Nice.
Listen, I bet they are. I bet they are. Mine are too. And I learned that you do not have to kill yourself in order to win. You do not have to go to the depths of exhaustion before you can take a needed break. It's about longevity. It's not a sprint.
Okay.
And what happens is we get so excited. This is our opportunity, but there's also pacing involved.
Okay.
Feel me?
Yes.
But that was so drilled in that this is how you tour. You gotta hit every city. Luther Vandross said, "Don't sing and fly on the same day." It jacks up your ears. We're just talking like human mechanics.
Pressure. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So all of these people came to hear you do what you do, and your ears are all clogged up, and your note just is a little under what you thought it was gonna be. You know what I mean? Who wants that? And that's your reputation on the line too, for your audience. But that's what I unlearned. I learned to live for myself, not just for business, that I have to have something left for my family and my friends. And I'd like to have a lot, because I have wonderful family and I have wonderful friends. I love y'all. I said it before, but I just do. Thanks.
Cool.
Thank you for doing this with me so much.
Thank you for asking us and keeping your word. Bob. She keeps her word.
Clearly, you can't have the kind of relationship that you women clearly have over the amount of time that you've had it if you all don't keep your word to each other. Like, that
Because
much is
what
clear.
else? Listen. All that I just said.
It's a long relationship, Alisa.
Y'all know what that meant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Laiya, you talked about your long career in radio, and I want to talk a little bit about the fact that you have used the experience and the skills to carve out a new lane for yourself in podcasts. And as part of that role, sometimes you find yourself as the only woman in the room. How do you navigate that?
Well, my first podcast was Questlove Supreme, and that came years before J.Ill. So it's funny because I answer that question differently now, because I have a very well-rounded podcast situation that keeps me balanced now, right? But for years, I didn't have it. So as women, there are some similar things that come into effect working with any man. I work with Black men and white men, so that has been deep. However, I have a work husband in Fonte Coleman that most people know from Little Brother, who is a very evolved Black man, which you have to have you got to have an evolved Black man somewhere adjacent to you when you're working with a bunch of men.
Lyrical giant.
What'd you say, Ju?
I say lyrical giant.
And a lyrical giant. Yes. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about my personal needs. Yes, he's a lyrical giant. Grammy nominated artist. Yes. And also, keeping my balance with the women that I have around me. Like you said, I've been in radio for a long time. So I know a lot of dope, strong women who have been in similar situations as me, and I need to lean on, like Helen Littles of the world, the Deanna Williams of the world. Shout out to Malika Millette, like just people, Sarah O'Connor, just people that I need to at times be a vulnerable woman with, because, we got to put on our mask most times when we're the only lady in some form or fashion. So it hasn't always been easy, but I got a nice hold on it now. Just between us ladies.
Right.
Let's talk about your communal baby, J.Ill, the podcast. First of all, congratulations, because you are coming up on your 2-year anniversary.
Too.
She walking.
Yes.
Yes, honey.
So I know that the conversations that you have on the show, you've been having them with each other for years. But when it comes to formalizing it and it being something that you're co-creating and monetizing and sharing with the world, did any of you have any trepidation about that?
No, I didn't. When I got the call, I was like, yeah. Like, absolutely.
When I thought a co-host, it literally was like boop boop, and I was like, yeah.
And it's a good question. I would say this, Alisa, it's a good question, because especially for these two, because they're artists, and while they reveal a lot in their music, it's different having a conversation about your life and to everybody. So, but I think that a lot of times, because it's us three and we provide each other with like a safe space, for them, it probably doesn't feel like they're revealing as much as they really are, but you are, and it's beautiful.
Well, I think probably this timing is so good. I love the age that we all are. We're all at that magical time in your life where, all your little, whats are gone. They're slowly going away. You don't give them anymore. But I think it's a really good time in our lives, because I think the level of comfort and the willingness to learn and the wisdom. So we have like this really good trifecta with where we are in our personal lives. So we kind of know the things we know very well, but we know enough of that to know that there's
don't know.
There's more to know. And the comfort level with each other and with ourselves. So that's why you should let women in their 40s talk publicly.
Come on.
This is, it's a
and
voice.
50 quadrigenarian, Jill.
And 60s.
And 60s.
And 60s. You should let
and 70s
continue to talk.
Yes.
You should not cut off.
The knowledge don't start till 40 anyway.
Yeah, these are really important times. And so many of the people who listen to the podcast are always like, y'all are friends that I don't have in my real life. You guys function very much like a sisterhood that I actually don't have. And it's shown me that it's something so deeply needed, conversation with other women, so you can gauge where you are, not in a competition way, but in a way that says, okay, I don't feel like this way that I'm feeling is just, I'm isolated, or I'm wrong, or I'm unhealthy, or maybe I am wrong, or maybe I do need to rethink that thing. It's, and I was telling Brittany, I said, it's a blessing. How can I have thoughts or worries about something that shows up as a full-on blessing in my life on a constant basis? Something that feeds me in this way. And I feel like if it feeds me, then it's doing the same thing for the people who are listening. And so there are just some things in life that happen. And yeah, maybe it's a business and everything, but it's really not. It's God doing God's work. And you just are really deeply connected to it in a way that, when you get the check, you be like, oh, I'm so lucky. I got money. Blessings.
Yeah, that's where.
That's
That's
when your
where.
grandma give you a big old hug and slip you a 20. You would have took the hug fine, but the 20's nice. You know,
Yes.
nice.
But the 20 in like 1940, which is a lot of money.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying.
She's like, oh no, honey. Well,
Word.
that for inflation.
Yeah.
I mean, butter is expensive these days.
Especially shea butter.
Yeah.
All the shea butters.
As women who are decades into knowing each other, you've seen each other through so many seasons. All relationships, professional relationships and personal relationships have ebbs and flows. And as you just talked about what this relationship means to you, I want to know, what are your thoughts on what it takes to maintain a bond like this, even through this new era of you being in business together?
Even more communication.
Yeah.
More than ever before. No misunderstandings. Let me be clear. I love you first. But let me say what I gotta say, and I'm gonna listen to what you guys say. You know, more of that than ever before. Right, Jill? I don't know. Right, Adrian?
Oh, that thing, it feels good on. It feels good on. I grew up as an only child, so like just having this is it's like a wish I wished. I don't want to cry.
Oh, wish
I try.
I feel you. I'm going to give you some time to collect because I'm an only child as well.
Me too.
And I have two best friends. There's something magical about the three Black women. Even when you watch the Hallmark movies now, it's always three Black women going to do something. I don't know what it is.
Oh, that is the new 22 thing. Yeah, it was Black women and like part. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. So, for it to be a wish you wished is amazing. But, for those people who don't have this in real life, as Asia was saying, or, who are struggling, because friendships are hard. And as life circumstances come and things change and we change, they're hard. So Jill, what have you learned about maintaining this bond?
Damn, wow. Thus far, I would say it's been pretty instinctual. I think Aja Graydon-Dantzler could answer that question better than I.
She answered every question and been good, real good.
She felt me itching on the inside.
She was like, let me get in. It's like double dutch. Come on, girl, I got you.
Get at it. Get that.
Well, okay, so I feel like maintenance is such an interesting word because there's I wouldn't say in most women's lives, but this is just my experience with women, is that we have all these different kinds of friend groups or places where we are, right? We might have people we work with, and now the new thing is you might have girls you travel with, and then you got girls that you grew up with, and you got girls that so and so and so and so. So maintenance is kind of an interesting thing, and I think it just ebbs and flows depending on who you're talking about. But in this particular group of women, I feel like the maintaining of the relationship is all built in like respect and kindness and things that we've carried with one another the entire time. Honesty, respect, care, empathy, truth. And those are all the things that have never changed. I would say, and I told people this before, we never were a group of women who talked on the phone every day, or we've just known each other a really long time. And the maintenance goes into just the way we're always entering into relationship with each other. That has always been consistent. And I think that's partially the reason why when Jill had this opportunity, she chose to do it with us, because of the consistency of the way that we have always interacted with one another and maintained that level of respect and love and empathy and truth with one another. You can't go back and say, oh, this girl didn't do, or she ain't say, or la da da. No, that is, it has been this throughout. So it was like, I have a new baby and who can I trust with it? And it might not have been the homegirl that you talk to every day. It may not have been the homegirl you've known since you were 5. It's that homegirl that's been straight up, consistent, was who she said she was going to be the whole time you knew her. And so when it was time to make the call, you called the person who fit the bill.
Enough. I'm trying to tell you.
Girl.
I'm trying to tell you. This is why we don't wear makeup when we talk to each other.
And the only reason I'm not crying, because y'all know I ain't got no more tears left. I done cried all the tears that a girl could cry in the last 2 days. I just became a grandmother, and
that was the answer.
That was the answer. I'm not even going to ask the next question. I was going to ask if at the beginning you sat down and talked it out, set some ground rules, tried to talk about what would happen when you disagreed on things. But I can see that that is not how this operates.
Mm-mm.
No.
We do disagree. We disagree respectfully.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just didn't talk about how we was going to do it. Yeah. It just happened.
Right.
But we love
when you have respect for one another, and you know how to hold space, what's to discuss?
It's cool.
You know?
Well, before we're all crying, I am going to give you each the chance to have a last word here. And in line with what we believe here at Sisters Inc., I'd like you each to talk about the importance of supporting and investing in each other and in Black women in business.
First of all, it's nice. It's really just a really nice thing to do, to support each other. Like, that's what's up. And good energy brings what? Good energy, right? Secondly, a reason to support Black women and in Black businesses. Honey, this is just an additional charge of good energy into the universe, and that is what this world needs in a major way. Anytime we create something that benefits our people and benefits other people as well, because we're geniuses, really. It's consistent. It's been consistent through the beginning of time, okay? So continuing that energy is the right thing to do. I'm going with right. I'm going with kind. I'm going to go with good. I'm going to go with love. I know that all sounds very poetic, and it's not my intention. This is the way I talk.
It is. It is.
It is.
It's the way you are.
It's the way that I am, but it's also deep rooted with the knowledge that this is what this planet is really deserving of. Continue to shine, sisters. Continue. We want to make changes in this place. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Laiya.
What Jill said, plus, everything the sisters do comes back to you, and you. That's just what it is. We never, even when we try to do for self, it always ends up for somebody else.
Asia, you going to bring it home for us?
Oh, the pressure. The pressure. Well, okay. So when Black women succeed, everybody does. Because at the end of the day, we live this life that looks like it's on the margins. And it is a very real margin to be in, to be woman and to also be Black. It is a very real margin. But the way that these things work is that if you serve the person in the margin, everybody else gets served as well. If you serve the person who has the most cross sections, everybody else wins too. And Black women find themselves in a very unique place in the world, in that we have the empathy that comes from struggle, but we have the brilliance that comes from necessity. And so for us, we possess this beautiful cross-section of skill sets that all you have to do is feed it. All you have to do is nurture it. And you have essentially invested in the healing of the world. There's no way that you can do that if it does not include the support of Black women you're not healing anything, you're not growing anything, you're not doing anything. So as far as I'm concerned, you are doing the great work that there is to do on the planet by supporting not only one another, but supporting each other in all of our endeavors.
And that ain't hard, is it?
No.
No. Aja, Laiya, and Jill, I cannot thank you enough for hanging out with us today, for letting us peek inside your sisterhood, and for sharing all that good, hard-earned wisdom with us. What a perfect kickoff. Everyone out there, thank you for joining us, and stay tuned for more from our Sisters Inc. Summit.